Island's largest public sector trade union to ramp up industrial action today. That's our top story in our Barbados Today morning news update for Friday, January the 19th. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. The National Union of Public Workers is expected to ramp up its industrial action today after day one of its two-day shutdown order appeared yesterday to have had a rather lukewarm effect on the state sector. All major government services remained open for business yesterday. From early in the morning, the state-run Transport Board bus service was up and running, and while the truckers at the Bridgetown port reported a late start to operations there, both the island's air and seaports suffered little to no noticeable disruption amid the national protest over a breakdown in talks for a 23% pay rise. Now, it was also business as usual at Warren's Towers, the Treasury Building, which includes the offices of the Barbados Revenue Authority, and at Baobab Tower, which houses government statistical services, as well as departments of commerce and the corporate registry. However, some secondary schools were affected, with Combermere forced to shut its doors early at 11:45 a.m. due to the unavailability of teaching staff. With that said, NUPW officials, who were quiet all day, offering no official comment, indicated that they were preparing to ramp up action today in their desperate bid to get government to meet their pay demands, even as their sister union, that's the Barbados Workers Union, appeared to have taken a more conciliatory stance in the ongoing pay dispute. In a statement released yesterday afternoon, BWU General Secretary Tony Moore said her union supported the union in principle, but stopped short of offering its support to the current strike action. In other news now, the new court-approved firm set up to replace the collapsed Clico International Life Insurance was formally launched yesterday, with assurances that the value of policyholders' investments has been restored and safeguarded, despite changes to the contractual terms and conditions of several of their policies. Chief Executive Officer Cheryl Stenhouse told a press conference at Courtyard by Marriott's in Hastings, Christchurch, that Resolution Life Assurance Company Limited, better known as Rest Life, would preserve cash levels while still ensuring all policyholders realize the intended benefit of their policies over the long term.
The amendments made to life insurance policies, including whole life policies and endowments, are as follows. Surrenders will not be permitted for a 4-year period. 2, restrictions to the access to cash surrender values through policy loans have also been implemented. There will also be an extension in the period that surrender charges will be applied. The minimum guaranteed interest rates applied to universal life policies have also been reduced. Despite these amendments, all claims and maturities arising from life policies and endowments from the 1st of January 2018 will be processed and paid immediately as they are approved.
Rest Life will begin monthly payments to annuitants at the end of next month, while outstanding amounts due to annuitants, beneficiaries, and claimants under life policies would be settled over a 6-month period starting in March. President of the Barbados Investors and Policyholders Alliance, June Fowler, just can't wait, even though she welcomes the launch of the new company.
I'm pleased about the board, especially for the combination of the board. And we're looking forward to the next steps where policyholders, pensioners will start to get their payments and where claims will be paid for those persons who have death claims and other outstanding claims.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
We're back with news from the region now. The opposition People's National Party and the 400-strong Jamaican Manufacturers Association are backing the state of public emergency declared in the crime-torn parish of St. James. Now, yesterday, the PNP said that based on the spiraling crime rate in Montego Bay, the failure of the Zone of Special Operation to arrest the number of murders, blatant lawlessness, and continued threat to life, the city had reached a near state of anarchy, which could not be allowed to persist. Opposition Party President Dr. Peter Phillips said some 1,617 Jamaicans were murdered in 2017, and already more than 63 persons have been killed since the start of this year. And the JMA, whose members employ more than 77,000 Jamaicans, described the violence as shameless attacks on the society, which needs to end. And it agrees that St. James, with the highest number of murders in 2017, was the ideal place to start. In Trinidad and Tobago, there's been a call from the police to the Bentham community to turn away from crime and seek peace with their neighbors. However, one popular community activist says he wants peace too, but tells the police that until they tackle the real criminals at the top, things will never change.
Who name calling in corruption, who dishonest to the bone, AV oil and gas. I'm just showing you 55 years of independence, we don't own a boat. Where are we going with this? Spanish is the problem in Trinidad and Tobago.
Crime is an industry and it starts from the top. So says Bentham community leader Kenneth Rodriguez, popularly known as Spanish. Rodriguez says neither he nor the other community leaders are actually the problem, as they do not have the power or means to, for instance, bring guns into the country. He also noted he's never been convicted of a serious crime.
Everybody know chemists and Spanish is gang leaders. Who give you that information? The Commissioner of Police, Mr. Stephen Williams, gave that. If I was a gangster, what's stopping all you from putting me in a cell? Or a gang leader? With the information. But then my arrow is a beachfront with guns and drugs coming in this country every day. He ain't clean up my arrow. You come to Port of Spain to clean?
And on the international scene, parents of 13 children who were held captive in their California home have pleaded not guilty to charges of torture, child abuse, and false imprisonment. Prosecutors said the victims were beaten, starved, and chained. David Turpin, 57, and his wife Louise Turpin, 49, each faced 94 years to life in prison if convicted of the charges. David Turpin was also charged with one count of committing a lewd act on a child by force or duress. That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.